everyone, I'm your host, Brittany Jones Cooper, and welcome back to Build. More than 20 years after the original movie, I Got the Hookup 2 reunites us with best friends and old school hustlers, Black and Blue, who now run a restaurant. But after the health inspector threatens to shut them down, the new generation comes up with a money-making scheme that could lead them to lose it all. Master P stops by to chat about the movie, but first, here's a clip.
Health inspectors coming today. We don't pass this, they're gonna shut us down.
Man, don't worry about it. You gonna be good, man.
You know when you say we good, what normally happens.
I'm sorry, you didn't make it.
Blue!
I'm gonna buy your little restaurant here. What do you say? 2 million? 2 million?
Everybody can use $2 million.
Yeah.
Blue could buy another car, pay off his house.
Watch him work.
Probably pay me my money he owed me.
Won't he do it?
But we're not for sale.
What?
Mr. Black, take a look around you. The neighborhood is changing.
I understand gentrification, but there's a lot of people that come from this neighborhood that love our business.
We can get these phones to Uncle Black, and he can sell them to save his restaurant.
Hey, I got a lift for Spyda.
Hey, fuck the trunk, look like that. The hell wrong with you? Why you got a steering wheel cover?
My hands get chafed
No,
sometimes.
boy, you a freak. You a freak ass, boy. You freaky, boy.
Yes, we got a 211 at the warehouse district.
Let me holler at you real quick.
It's a big ass baby. Who the daddy, Shaq?
I know my baby.
This baby got a gun. A grown baby with a mother of the father house and the red hair. You see your ID. You trying to trick me.
I'm here for a baby, and the baby not even black. I don't believe it. Damn. Who the hell is that? That's Sunday, honey.
Oh, I'd love to take her to church.
One dose, and you bang, bang, bang all night.
You good?
I'm good.
All right.
You good?
I'm good.
Y'all good?
Are you good?
I got a yogurt pass in 5 minutes. Get the hell out of here.
Fool, slap yourself 3 times. Slap him. Get off me.
You know you still owe me that money, man. I'll pull up.
Young Jeezy looking motherfucker. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Tú no piensas,
Don't do nothing stupid.
Got you with me.
Last time Christmas came early like this, it was 1998.
Look at y'all. Y'all all going to jail. Is this a trap house, sir?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, then he the one that sell it.
Oh!
Put your hands together for Master P.
Yes.
How you doing today?
I'm good, I'm good. Can't wait till the movie come out.
Yeah.
July 12th is gonna be funny, but you're gonna learn something.
Yeah.
It's all about gentrification, so it's real. We dealing with these issues every day.
Yeah, for sure. I want to go back to the beginning a little bit, though.
Yes.
First one was 1998. When you hear that, what do you feel? What do you think?
I'm just getting better with time. Nah, that's good because, you know, they always say as African-American filmmakers and Latino filmmakers that we don't last and we don't own anything. So we're changing the game from 1998 to now with new technology and all these different avenues of being able to market and put your films through. I feel like we've come a long way, but we open up so many doors and we're gonna kick down so many doors. I feel like this is the next generation of filmmaking to be able to put social media stars with Hollywood stars. We're gonna change the game.
Take me through the process, though, of getting this made, because I know this was you. It was you produced it. You had to finance it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, so what's great about this project, me and Romeo as a father and son, we started in this project and we also financed it. And this is history because we have 126 speaking roles with actors and actresses, which never been done. We up for the Guinness Book of Records for the most speaking roles in a film. So this is, for me, I just thank the man up above, like blessing me and my family that I was able to change my life to be here and to do what I'm doing. And I feel like with this movie, it's not just a movie, it's a movement. Because when Black Panther came out, we didn't own it. So we couldn't put money back into the community. With this movie, we will be able to put money back into the community because we own it.
Which is why people need to get out there and support it, right?
Yes.
That's why we got to fill the seats in the theaters and download it and buy it and everything.
Yes, like, I mean, go to iTunes if you don't like going to the movies and download it. Go to the movie theaters, call AMC, you know, request this movie. Because, you know, we have to be able to come together, talk about taking care of the community. We have to have these type of opportunities so we can make money and put it back. Because I'm about putting it back into the community. And that's what I got to hook up to is, I mean, there's so many great talents that's in this movie that wouldn't have got an opportunity to be in Hollywood. at all, like a Fatboy SSE or a DC Young Fly, the little guy P.O., which is hilarious, you know, and
Just hilarious.
Just
too.
hilarious.
Love her.
So it was incredible with Romeo to do this with my son. I mean, this is important for me as an African-American man to be able to, because they always say, well, families don't get along. How can we work together? We love working together. So this is going to open up a lot of doors and a lot of avenues for the next generation of filmmaking, saying we could do this independently.
Take me through that casting process. How did you guys choose who got to be a part of it? What was that like?
It was crazy because everybody came to the casting that, you know, like, we're going to have roles, but not for everybody. So, but everybody brought their best. And the great thing about it, like a lot of these social media stars, you know, a lot of directors didn't think that they had that type of talent, but they really, these guys on their phone, but I was like to myself, I seen something else, and I'm saying, if you could do this on your phone, imagine on a big screen. So I gave those guys those opportunities, but it was funny. I mean, just imagine coming into a casting call with Fatboy, DC, and they just going crazy. And I'm like, you know what, I like that. I want you to be yourself in this movie. You know, we gave them the words, but it was like, be yourself. So this is definitely a part of history.
I was going to ask, obviously there's a script there because there's a story,
Oh,
but
yeah.
how much of it was ad-libbed and you just kind of let people get into the role?
No, well, you know what, you had to go by the script because this is a Hollywood production. But I also let some of the comedians, like, I filmed a couple of scenes saying, you know what, have fun with this too. So, but you still had to stay in character. This is a serious business, and you have a lot of A-list talent on the set with John Witherspoon and Cheryl Underwood. So it's like you have to be on your A game, and it really taught the next generation of stars, man, is if John Witherspoon come in there and do what he got to do, I need to be on my game. So, you know, he's reading this script, they into it. I think it made the younger guys, you know, understand how important this is because you got these type of caliber of people waiting on you. Like, you got to be on your game.
Because he's a guy, as soon as he steps on the screen.
Funny, he know the words.
Yeah.
Romeo's so good at this because, you know, even though Romeo's behind the scene, but he's also in front of the camera, but he understands movie making. He went to school, he went to USC to study that, and I feel that's what balanced us because I understand the bigger part of the business, he understands the other part, so together I feel like we got the best of both worlds.
What did it mean for you personally to reprise this role and to bring back Black and Blue and reunite with AJ? And just kind of like, did it take you back to 1998 again?
Yeah, but the thing was, it made me know that we have kids now. We gotten older, so we have to have some type of responsibility. So we own this restaurant called Big Papa's, and we're about to lose it. But, you know, Blue still his funny self. He want the girls, he want the women, he want the cars, and I'm like, man, we got to save this restaurant. So Black and Blue end up coming together. We are more mature now, but our kids get us caught up. So that takes us back to the streets again, because Spyda character, which is played by DC Young Fly, they end up going in there and, you know, hijack these phones, but they for the Colombians. So we don't know what we getting ourselves into, and we got to come together as a family, and it's just funny. So we running from the Colombians, and I'm like, man, I done changed my life. What am I doing here? And it got a lot of real life experiences with it, but what I like about it, we also deal with mental illness. We try to tap on that. I look at a lot of guys in the community where I grew up at, is either about the medicine, forgetting to take it, or don't know they need it. And some of these guys are not bad, you know, when they taking their medicine, but when they don't take it, it's a whole different animal. And we end up having to deal with it as family members. So I wanted to touch on that. And also just being able to how to communicate with each other. So communicate when people are wrong, it has a cause and effect. So in the movie, crazy things happen just by communication. You know, you could just say something different to somebody and they'll accept it different. And so I wanted to touch on that, saying that we needed to laugh this year. I felt like we experienced so many tragedies, And I said, you know what? Let's heal this. What I got the hook up to. Let's laugh. Yes.
And you mentioned the tragedies, and in the first 10 seconds, we see Nipsey.
Yeah.
And so take me through why it was important for you to include him, especially in the opening, just right away.
Yeah, well, you know, me and Nipsey was close. And I showed him how to do a lot of things. And he just had a good spirit. And he loved this community. And I felt like we should have been celebrating him. You know, he done got so many flowers now that he's not here. I remember sitting in the car with him, his first, at the same album that went quadruple platinum now, and he made it to the best male album of the year on BET this year. That was the same album came out 2 years ago that only sold 52,000 copies. And I hear people say, this is an amazing record. I'm like, that's the same record we had 2 years ago. So it's crazy how it takes a tragedy for people to recognize how talented you are. And I just like, that was my boy. So I knew his heart. We probably made like 17 songs together. We got in the studio, the magic just happened. So I felt like the world needed to know that he needed to be celebrated a long time ago. And that was our thing was, because he knew he had an amazing record 2 years ago. So he was like, well, why this not taking off? What's the problem? And then you come back now, this record is incredible. You hear people say, man, Nipsey, that's the best record I heard. I'm like, that record was out 2 years ago. You know, so, but he definitely getting his just due now. And I'm proud of, you know, what people really see and know who he was. So, yeah, we made a lot of great music. You're going to be able to listen to the music on the soundtrack that I got the hook up to. Me and Jeezy got a record, the Ice Cream Man and the Snowman. So it's going to be a cold summer. That's the only thing I can say. It's going to be a cold summer.
Yeah. I love seeing him up top. And like you said, we didn't appreciate him. Yeah. But I think it also is a testament to the work he was doing anyway.
No, he brought, you know what the thing about it is? This is a guy that come from the hood just like me. They had his funeral at the Staples Center like Michael Jackson. A guy that nobody knew about, barely knew about. And now his life has brought so much peace and so many people together. So, you know, when you believe in that man up above, you know, your work might be not done even while you're here. You know, it might be done when you're gone. So it's like his legacy is gonna live on. I mean, and it's bringing so many people and letting people chase their dreams and their goals and knowing the marathon continues.
And I think that message will continue because, as you mentioned before, a lot of our communities are dealing with gentrification and having the negative impacts of that, which is something that is really explored and talked about in this movie.
So when you see, you know, Blue, he want the $2 million. They want to buy our business. And I'm like, we can't sell this business. This is all we have. We the only African-American-owned business in the community. You know, the gentrification is so real because we are changing these communities all around here, but we don't own nothing. We don't own none of it. We don't own none of the growth, the change, and because we really ready to, okay, how much money they gonna give me? You ready to take that quick buck? They might give you $2, but they gonna make 20 off it. So that's the thing we have to look at. And that's what I tell people, it's okay to sell your property, but make sure you get the value out of it because we selling it for little or nothing. And I think that's when we, you know, a lot of people say they're in the hood, they want to take over the hood. The hood is that. You don't own the hood if you don't own no property. For real. Yeah.
Well, it's the generational wealth, right? You got to keep it.
Yeah, keep it going.
You talk about that in the film, too, which I was like, this is really important. These conversations are funny, but it's real.
Well, and that's what I wanted to do. I felt like nobody know how to make comedy like us because we live it. You know, I actually lived in the hood, so I always wasn't Master P. You know, I lived in a house with 16 people, a 3-bedroom project. I never had a bed till I went to college. But I always thought when I was in the projects, I always was saying, oh, I'm living in a mansion. The power of the words is real. Like, you know, I never thought that I'm poor. I always say my check is coming, it's in the mail. You know, even though I was like, when is this check gonna come? So, you know, even as a kid, being hungry, that pushed me. I tell people all the time, you have to be committed to something. So I'm committed to make these films. We're gonna start with this. I got the hook up too. We're gonna be able to make even $100 million films. That's our goals, to be able to get up to those big budget movies, but we have to start from somewhere. So we're gonna make dramas, comedy, action. So, but it have to start. It have to start right now. And I think the reason why I'm telling everybody to support this, because this is us. This is us doing our best. And it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's gonna be more opportunity for more people from here. So the people we employed on the sets was incredible. The families that we took care of, you know, just by working with us with Genius Minds Pictures. So, I mean, I'm excited for everybody that was a part of this. I feel like we all made history because we finished something, we completed something, which it's hard to do a movie of this magnitude and complete it. You know.
And you kind of reference it's not just a moment, it's a movement. I was actually at the American Black Film Festival where you guys showed the film, and there was a lot of talk around it. And just being in that community with Black filmmakers and seeing people saying the same thing, like, we are making this art, we need to support each other.
Yes.
And do it
well,
on a bigger level.
I've always been about celebrating other people. It's not just about me. I want to celebrate other people's success, and I feel like that's when God will bless you. Because if you got to be able to celebrate other people's success to even have some success. And life goes up and down. By me being from New Orleans, I come from the hurricane town. So you could have it all one day, he'll wash it away, like Job in the Bible. Then what happened? You're going to be angry or mad. He's testing your faith. So I'm like, I don't live for money, I make money. But the more you make, the more you can give. Like, I know we can't take this with us. So it's not about this. My whole life is about being a philanthropist, helping the next generation. So I feel like I'm a life coach now. So I want to help the next generation and help the elderly. So that's what I've been doing for 21 years, and that's what makes me happy. And to be able to do this, I could go back. You know, one of the guys asked me, why you stay in the hood like you be? You know, I say, I'm only there for the kids. That's it. Like, I'm not in there just to try to keep it real with the hood. The hood don't keep it real with you. Look how we lost Nipsey. So I'm more about going out for the kids, inspiring them, saying, look, I was once in here. And with my team, Hope Foundation, we're going to help kids all around the world in the hood to say, we could save you guys. Like, put the guns down, pick up a camera, shoot your future. That's what it's about for me.
I saw that you were just down in New Orleans for Essence Fest, and you had your annual basketball tournament for Hope NOLA, right? It's all to raise money and funds and awareness.
For Kids for Scholarship, we ball for a cause. So I bring the celebrities out, let them know you have to come here to ball for a cause. It's not about the celebrity game. And it's packed every year, and the celebrities come out, and we play basketball, we have fun, it's entertaining, but we also go to the elderly communities. I have an elderly home that I take care of that has over 2,500 senior citizens. And we done put stores in there, we done revamped the community. They have TVs, they have lounges, they have a entertainment section. Every year we just building and building and building, and the love is there because those guys was there for me as a kid growing up. And it's sad when you hear elderly people, whether it could be our grandparents, to say that the kids don't come back and visit no more. And I just feel like I have to go back and do my part because God has blessed me and my family. So we there every year. So it ain't just the essence for us. It's about being there for our people. Yeah.
With the basketball game, you and Romeo play on different teams?
Yeah, you know what? We have a little family competition all the time, but we always play on the same team. This year, Romeo went to the other team, and it got down to the wire. It was like they was up at first, and then we end up winning at the last second, you know. So, and he almost made a shot from like half court that would have tied the game up, but we end up taking the trophy this year.
Almost doesn't count.
Almost don't count. But everybody win, because I told Romeo, you know, because he was like playing hard. We like, bro, you playing hard? Yeah, you know that? This is a celebrity game. Yeah. And it was like, you know this for the kids, right? So everybody won at the end. So nah, it was friendly competition, family competition. Yeah. But, you know, I got my other boys that really play basketball too. So My sons played with me. I have one in the 7th grade, one in the 10th grade, but they like top players in the country. And I made him, you check Romeo. But he's big, so he's like 6'4". So I'm like, yeah, you got Romeo. Because Romeo fast, he running, but my other son, he'll dunk on you. So it was like, you know what, you want to play Romeo? Go with the other side. We got something for you.
That sounds like fun. Before we go to questions, your next year is your 50th birthday, right?
Yeah, why are you talking about that?
Because that's a celebration. That is not something to...
That means I did something good to be here this long.
You made it
from
to
the
50.
Hood. I know it was tough. I'm telling y'all.
50.
Yes, it was some crazy times. I was like, man, you know what my goal was? I'm telling y'all what's crazy. In the ghetto, when you have nothing and you living in poverty and you around all this negativity, me and my brother goal was to live to be 19. It's crazy as a black man. And I'm like, if I could live to be 19, I lived a long life. Because most of my friends was dying at 14, 15, 16. And I was like, and I look at that now, and I look at my kids, and I jumped into my car. You know, Romeo really saved my life, so I thank him. I jumped in my car with Romeo and moved to California. And I think that's when my life changed, because all my friends, their kids are dead or in prison, most of them, and they lived a tough life. Because sometimes you have to get out of your environment to see something else, because that's where the most hater be. You know, I had one old lady in my neighborhood that said, bright eyes, you're gonna be a star. And everybody else like, you ain't gonna be, I'm like, what, really? Like, you don't even know me like that. But I kept listening to that lady, like, bright eyes, you're gonna be a star. I jumped in that car with my son, and I said, I'm going to California. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I had like a couple $100 in my pocket. And I was like, I'm gonna open up No Limit Records. And I didn't know at the time, but when I got there, I said, yeah, I was gonna be, that's why I learned the business. So you learn it from the ground up. I learned from the retail side. So it wasn't about, you know, me being a genius. No, I learned everything about the business. And I had Tupac and a lot of the big stars from California that come into my store. They was like, you 19, you own this store? I'm like, yes, sir. You know, it was like, yes, sir, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I was from the South, but that's the way I talk. So it was like, yeah. And I was like, you say you own this place? I'm like, yes, sir. Like, but yeah, it was a trip because I really learned the business from the bottom. Learned everything about the music business. So, you know, a lot of people want to just be famous. Like, learn your business, you know, for sure.
I was gonna say, is that the big lesson you sort of learned in your 50 years? What is the thing that really kind of you always go back to or reminds you to like stay who you are?
I just thank that man up above. I think the most important thing, God has humbled me, knowing that a lot of my friends are not here. So you keep doing the right thing, you could have a long life. And, you know, especially when you come from hip-hop, we come from street music. You know, they call it hip-hop now, but at our time, they was living that life. So, you know, it's just a blessing. And I don't take it lightly. I thank the man. You know, I learned how to pray, learned how to open my Bible up, and learned how to be thankful for what I have and thankful for my family. So I think as you mature and you get older, you start realizing that it's not about you. You know, this ain't about me. So I realized that, you know, it's all God-given talent. It's not about me. And I'm just going to keep helping the next generation. And hopefully the guys that want to listen, they will listen. They'll look at my life and say, well, P did this. I got a brother dead and I got a brother in prison. So we're not no angels or rocket scientists. You have to realize whatever decision you make, it comes with charges and consequences. And I decided to say, I want to do right. And that's why I'm here. A lot of people I know they're not here with their family because you only have 24 hours in a day. What you do with your 24 hours is going to choose where you're going, what's your destination. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. So, and you got to love what you do. To be honest with you, I want to do right. Call me a square, whatever you change, thank you. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I sure did change. You know, I wish I knew this a long time ago. I wouldn't have been around you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what people have to realize. Like, do you want to be better? Or do you want to be living a rough life or trying to keep it real with some people that's not going to keep it real with you in the end? I don't know. Nobody want to die for you or nobody want to go to jail for you. And so that's what I learned as a man. You know, I also learned anybody could be a daddy, but it take a real man to be a father. So, yeah.
That's an important message.
Yeah.
We do have a couple questions.
All right, let's go.
So who do we have first?
Hi,
Yeah.
Master P. I just want to say I'm a true no limit soldier. I go
Yeah.
all the way back, and I want to tell you, you are the epitome of an excellent example of leadership, and thank you for allowing us to have this journey with you from 1998 on
Yes.
forward, watching you sell, you know, your CDs out of your trunk to just watching you work for it, pray for it, wish for it,
Yeah.
cry for it. And I know there have been plenty of times where you could have done it a different way.
Yeah.
And my question is, what made you stay on that path even when times got hard and you were overlooked for doing it with integrity?
Well, one thing I learned from growing up in the ghetto, you keep your word. And from my grandparents, they taught me integrity. Integrity is more important than anything. So when you have integrity, you're going to think about other people. I've always thought about other people before myself. And to be an entrepreneur, you have to make sure other people get paid for you eat, your family. My family used to be like, wait up, you done paid all these people and you don't have nothing? I was coming. Just like right now in this movie, I paid everybody. Me and Rome, we paid everybody. We had to make sure everybody get paid, but at the end of the day, we don't make no money till months after this come out. So to be a boss, you might have to wait months or years for your money. But those are the sacrifices you have to take. And a lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people want to be artists, and that's fine. You just have to know you. So, you know, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my fans. I appreciate you guys. And I'm going to keep pushing. I feel like I'm at the stage in my life now that we need to take over this film industry because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And we as African-Americans and Latinos, we spending over $1 trillion a year, and we don't own none of this. So we need to change that. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
How you doing, Master P? First and foremost, my tickets are set for Friday, so I'm going to go see the film.
You.
And something that you just said, actually, before I asked my question that caught my attention was saying, you know, you helped a lot of people feed their families, whether, you know, from the Black community or Latino community.
Yes.
And I just want to say, personally, a friend of mine named Christian Torres Villalobos, he plays Pablo.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for helping him feed his family. You know, we're from New Jersey, from Patterson, and you know the struggle. And it's very hard to try to come up in a society where we're not that accepted at all times, and we really have to, you know, break through those walls and barriers. So thank you for that.
Yes, I want to tell you, with your friend, he played an incredible job as Pablo. Nobody wanted him. No, I'm being honest with you. The production team I have, they said, he's not the guy. He's not the guy. We had a whole bunch of Hollywood guys come in, and I said, no, that's Pablo. First day I walked in there. They said, well, how could you? I said, because I own it. Everybody else can leave. That's Pablo, and he played an incredible job. Yeah.
So thank you for that. Yeah, we had an amazing FaceTime yesterday, actually just talking about that. He was like, yo, thank you so much for going to see the film. I can't wait. Let me know how it goes. Take a picture from me.
Nah, he's going to be big, man. He's definitely going to be a star.
So my question is, what was some of the thought process behind casting some of Hollywood's hottest and newest young faces like DC Young Fly and Fatboy?
Yeah, I said, those guys need a chance. I watched them on social media. I went into a lot of meetings and said, with my production staff, and I had a bunch of, I'm not going to tell y'all who it is, but I had a bunch of Hollywood actors in those roles. And I said, this got to be funny, and it's got to be raw, and it got to be real. So I started, like, taking those Hollywood people down a little bit and start putting them up in the production team. So I said, what are you doing? I was like, trust me, I'm telling y'all, a lot of those guys that I put in, I got the hookup. One, they end up being big stars. Nobody knew who they were, but they made it work. Like, this was more of an urban Latino movie to where we all come together, and I felt like I feel like the talent need to be new for the younger people. I wanted to kind of mix the old, new together, and I was like, I can't do this with faces that they already have out there. So, it was good, and it worked. Yep, it really worked. You guys got him, Spyda, DC Young Fly. I mean, he is hilarious. You know, I mean, he fall in love with the women as soon as he see them, but he's hilarious. You guys gonna love it.
There's a scene where Spyda keeps getting slapped, and I could not stop laughing.
You know, Tiny Lester, like he is, y'all know he's crazy. Like he really played that role to where he made Spyda slap himself, he made Fatboy slap himself, and I'm on the set behind the thing looking, I'm like, did you really just hit one of the... He's like, oh, boss, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. He's like, you all right? I'm like, I'm saying, y'all all right? Y'all need a break? They were like, no, we good. So, it was funny. Like, they did an incredible job.
It worked. It was really funny. Next one, right here. Yeah.
All right, a long time no see.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good.
That's good. I got another question for you.
All right.
You know, besides the question I asked you in Compton.
All right.
But I want to know, how did you come up with the concept? In the beginning, how did you come up with the concept that I Got the Hookup Part 2? Well, right. No, I Got the Hookup, period, the series.
So you guys know, back in the days, I'm in the hood, this is the way I'm living. Y'all know the big cell phones, you get the little hookup. On the cell phones, you get the chips. Right. And so I'm like, man, if I ever make a movie, because I'm actually living a movie in the hood with these little chips, these hookups, people coming to me for the hookup, for the phone. I said, if I ever make it to Hollywood, I'm gonna make a movie about this. And once I made it, I'm like, because I used to have a big old phones, everybody be by my house in the project. Man, P, you got the hookup with the phones. I'm like, yeah, I got the hookup. Come over here, meet me by my, in the back. And so that's where it started from. So I was hooking everybody up in the hood once I got the little chips for the phones. And like, man, we thought we was like AT&T back then. So I just took that little concept I had and said, you know what? I'm gonna turn this into a movie, because everybody want the hookup. All my boys are come back there. Man, you got the hookup, hook me up. So I turned it into a movie. So, and a lot of these movies, that's where it come from, real life stuff. And so for me, that's where it came from.
And it still works 20 years later.
It still works, because think about 20 years later, phones are $1,000. Right. So when Big Sean character P.O. steal the phones from the UPS truck, that's 300 phones, that's 300 grand. And the stakes are higher now, even though these Pablo phones, and we done took his drugs and everything, and so we ended up getting in trouble. But we like, that was a lick. We like, okay, we over with. We done made it. We got 300 grand out of a little small box. So I'm like, the stakes are gonna be higher now. So it was fun.
Wait till you see it. It's good.
Yeah.
And where's the next one right there?
Hey, so it's evident that you're a great role model for all of your children.
Yes.
So what is something that you made sure you instilled in them as them being younger in order for them to be successful today?
Well, one thing I've always instilled into them is put your trust and faith in God. Education is so important. And whatever you do, be committed to it. Because, even with my boys, people think, even with Romeo, people think that he was born with a silver spoon. I don't raise my kids like that. I'm like, you know what? You have to get out there and work. You have to get up early in the morning. Same thing like with me. So if you look at, I played in the NBA with Steph Curry dad. And me and Dale Curry, he was good at shooting the ball. All he do is shoot the ball all day. So you look at Steph Curry, when he was a kid, I used to see him in the gym, but he always was shooting the ball. And to be a great shooter, you have, I don't care who you kin to or whatever, you have to put up 1,000 shots a day. So, and I tell my kids that if you put up 1,000 shots a day, you will be a great shooter. I was in a project that got me out of the project and got me to college. I ended up going to University of Houston. But I learned how to shoot with no lights. We had no lights in the project at night. So I used to listen to the nets. That's how I knew. So that hard work and being consistent and being committed to what you're doing. It don't matter if you have money or not, because there's a lot of people that don't have money, that don't have no passion for what they want to do. They're doing it for the wrong reason. So you got to do stuff for the right reason. And that's what I give that to my kids. I think that's what keeps them humble it makes them work harder. So it's not, don't look at a dollar. You look at, I love doing this. I can be successful at it because I love doing it. If your kids just love playing video games all day, then they're going to be good at video games. You know, and so that's what I try to tell my kids. You got to put that same time in. If you want to play video games in my house, then you got to, if you want to be an athlete or entertainer or a doctor or lawyer, you got to put more time into that than the video games. I'm going to reward you with the video games. You know, maybe you can put a half an hour into the video game, but you need to put in 6 hours into what you want to be in the future. Yeah.
Those are amazing words, but also you live by example, and I think all of your fans, everybody in this room respects you for that, and you're such an important person for so many people. And so I respect everything you've done in music and continue to do in film. I can't wait to see what's next.
Yes.
And congrats on this film, because it was really funny and such a joy to watch.
Thank you, thank you.
And if you guys want to check out, you can watch I Got the Hookup in theaters, Amazon, and iTunes on Friday, July 12th. Give it up for Master P.